Welcome to Fire Walk with us. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And Justin.
This week we're talking about Twin Peaks The Return Part 13. In this episode, the Mitchum brothers and their assistants take Cooper to Bushnell Mullen's office, celebrating and bearing gifts for Mullins.
Yeah, they go in a big dancing train.
Go in a conga line.
Yeah, basically.
Anthony Sinclair hides from the brothers as he fearfully calls Duncan Todd, who gives him one day to kill Jones. Delivery men bring a gym set for Sonny Jim and a new car to the Jones home as Janie E. happily looks on. Janie E. and Cooper later watch Sonny Jim play on his new gym set. Cooper's doppelganger arrives at the farm as Ray and his associates watch him on the security camera. They bring him to their location and he says he is there to see Ray. He is told that Renzo is the leader of the men and he is undefeated in arm wrestling. The doppelganger likens this practice to children's games and challenges Renzo, wagering Ray. After much toying with his opponent, the doppelganger wins, then kills him.
I'm comfortable in this position.
As the group's new leader, he is granted his request to be alone with Ray, who, after being shot in the leg, tells him the details of his contract from Philip Jeffries to kill the doppelganger. And he has something inside that he wants. Ray takes out the green ring, saying that he was supposed to put it on him after killing him. Richard Horn joins the group as they watch on the camera as the doppelganger and Ray, who hands over the coordinates. Ray tells the doppelganger Jeffrey's last known location and is killed. The ring disappears from his finger and appears in the red room, followed by himself. Mike places the ring on its pedestal. The detectives look over the results of the Douglas Jones fingerprint as an altercation takes place in the next room. Sinclair comes to see Detective Clark for poison. Janie E. takes Cooper to work in the new car. Sinclair waits nervously for Dougie and takes him to get coffee. After taking a sip, Cooper wanders over to observe the shop's pie as Sinclair laces his coffee. He returns and Sinclair breaks down, leaving with the poisoned coffee. Cooper takes Sinclair's coffee and has brought a slice of pie. I don't know why, but that scene makes me laugh. Sinclair pours the coffee into a urinal and throws the cup in the trash before apologizing to Dougie. At the Double R Diner, Shelley gets a phone call from Becky, who says that Stephen has been absent for 2 days and she's worried about him. Shelley invites her daughter to the diner for pie. In Mullen's office, Sinclair tearfully confesses to his activities with Todd. Bobby goes to the diner and visits Ed and Norma. First time we've seen Ed so far. He describes to them that he came across some belongings of his father. Walter Lawford soon shows up to join Norma and Ed, and Bobby move to another booth. Walter reports on the franchise progress of the diner, saying that she is selling her pies too cheap, although she disagrees with the franchise store's practices compared to her flagship store. Run silent, run drapes. Nadine is visited by Jacoby after he spotted one of his shovels in the window.
They finally meet.
He expresses his admiration for the decoration, and she praises him and his show. They reflect on their last meeting at the supermarket during the storm. Sarah watches a boxing match as she drinks on a loop.
Yeah, it just repeats the same, 10 seconds over and over?
Yeah.
A near hysterical Audrey demands Charlie tell her what Tina told him. He tells her to go to the Roadhouse to see if Billy is there, offering to go with her, though she is indecisive and breaks down crying. At the Roadhouse, an MC introduces James Hurley, who performs a song, and a clearly moved Renee watches, and finally we see Big Ed sitting alone at Big Ed's gas farm eating soup.
Yes.
That's what happened in this episode.
Yes.
So that song that James was singing was the same one that was in season 1 or something?
Yeah, it's a song called Just You.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I still can't see that being his voice.
Seriously, it's just kind of a case of, oh, by the way, we're going to need you to do that song again. But I didn't recover from the last time you did it. Too bad. Wham in the nuts.
It's at 20 years or so.
Yeah, they've been, kicking on the balls for 20 years? Anyway, did either of you have any notes on this episode?
The simple fact that someone knows that the doppelganger has something or that sort of thing just sort of makes you think more people know about Bob and they want to use Bob for something, and that just leads to a whole bunch of, oh dear, things are gonna get bad.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who would know Bob?
Well, you know who Bob is.
Well, other than the viewer.
And the 3 to 6 other people that have had run-ins with Bob in some sort of way.
Yeah, most of the people in Twin Peaks would know about Bob. Or at least some of them.
Bich.
Yes.
Like Andy, Lucy, Hawk, the sheriff. There's a good number of people who would know about Bob.
Bich.
Yeah.
I guess Andy and Lucy probably aren't evil masterminds.
No.
Oh, that would be a hell of a twist.
That would be.
If it turns out that Andy is like the devil incarnate.
That would
No.
be strange.
That would be sad. Andy's awesome.
Andy is awesome, but it'd be a hell of a twist.
The...
Do you have any notes on this episode, Justin?
It was a great arm wrestle.
It is a great arm wrestle.
My goodness, it was just the instant any of that sort of stuff's happened, it's like, well, congratulations, you're fucked.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So, did you recognize the bald guy?
No, I did not.
The gentleman that was arm wrestling the doppelganger?
And after
Yes.
after his face got punched out, you couldn't recognize him after that.
Well, it was punched out in one scene, but then there was just like splatter of blood and whatnot.
His face was punched right in.
Yes, it was. You don't recognize who that is, though.
No.
Vaguely. Like specifically the name of the person or what he's worked in? Not specifically, but I do recognize him.
Okay, so he played Jason in some of the Friday the 13th movies.
Oh, okay.
I suppose with his build that makes sense.
Yeah, he's primarily a stuntman.
I wouldn't have recognized his face or build.
I mean,
He wears a mask.
Buddy.
Not right, Jason? On Friday the 13th? I think that's the right thing.
yes, Jason wears a hockey mask.
Yeah, but you don't really see his face.
He pops. That mask comes off all the goddamn time.
I don't see it.
Nah.
You're an idiot.
It's not the most recognizable part of him.
No, but he's got the look and the build and everything. It's just a little trivia note, Justin.
Bleh.
Fine.
So, a particular thing that I sort of thought was with the guy trying to kill Dougie and whatnot. I'm like, on the one hand, my dear God, this is so supposedly easy because it's just kind of a case of, oh, here, Dougie, drink this. And
Because
drink
Dougie's
one-
an idiot.
But
Dougie doesn't have any sort of survival skills whatsoever. The thing he does have, though, is a way of manipulating things his way. He is a countermeasure of what his doppelganger is.
Yeah.
So, the doppelganger is a focus of he has the smarts and intelligence and power to screw over everybody in every sort of way, make all the bad things happen. Dougie just has to exist, and all the good things happen to him and everyone around him in certain sort of ways. Because when all the things started in the episode, that guy was just like, fuck, I need to do something to make sure that I'm not going to die. And I can vaguely understand him getting to the point of desperation and trying to find a way out. But how is it that you switch from, I have to kill this one person to save my skin, to, I need to ask forgiveness from all these particular people? Like, for me, there's a big solid wall that you'd have to climb over before you could even reach that sort of bit. And it's just like, ooh, wall, touch.
Well, he's also a regular guy who's like, hey, wait a minute, I'm about to commit murder.
I suppose, but the instant he thinks that, Dougie touches him and gives him a mild back massage.
Yep. Basically.
It's just kind of a case of, are you doing that because he needs the massage, or are you doing that because you're curious about his dandruff?
Or just Dougie has some kind of unknown mystical power that allows him to manipulate people.
Maybe. It might have been a case that it looked like there was dust on it, but that's what only Dougie was seeing.
Well, yeah, and it's also Dougie comes from the Lodge, so he could just have some power that allows him to manipulate people.
Bleh.
Because clearly the doppelganger has something like that going on.
Bleh.
So it's not unreasonable to believe that Dougie would.
Blech.
I suppose. I guess.
Do you have any other notes, either of you?
Oh, hi, Ed.
Yeah, and who the hell's Walter?
Walter? Walter is... let me check my notes. Walter.
It's the guy that joined with Norma.
Yeah, he's the one who runs the franchise for her.
Yes.
Because she has a bunch of other double R's.
Restaurants.
Because I guess she branched out a little bit or whatever.
Yeah, he's like her business manager.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And apparently spending too much on pie and not charging enough.
Yep. Because all of her ingredients are organic and natural.
Yeah! Chances of that actually being true, not too high! I have a mild feeling that there's going to be some sort of crazy romantic subplot between the Doc and Nadine. I would not be too surprised.
I would love it if that happened.
If that happened?
He hasn't seen the next few episodes.
Nah, true.
I haven't seen all the episodes from the season.
Nah, true.
For once.
But I would love it if that happened. Oh my
I
god.
mentioned that Palmer needs more drinks. She clearly doesn't have enough.
Nope. Clearly not enough.
And I think the only other thing was, I'm not sure if it was specifically discussed. What the heck happened to Audrey? She just flipped from one side to the other side, and I'm just like, how bad did that explosion screw you up, Audrey?
What do you mean?
She's freaking out about all the particular things that she wants to go through. Her husband says one little particular thing, and everything flips on a dime. I'm just like, what? It's probably a case of I'm maybe not paying too much attention to those sort of particular scenes, or something else from previous episodes has caught my attention more, but still, it's just, what?
Okay.
I also want to mention that was the most flashiest backyard playground set I've ever seen.
I know, it has like
Just
all
a
these
little-
lights and stuff.
Yeah.
Just
That
a little
thing's
bit.
dope. I want it now.
It's alright.
Could play on it at night even.
I know, it's a pretty dope little playground.
Yeah, it's alright.
That was actually brought up like 2 episodes ago, where the Mitchums, where Dougie gives them the check, and they're like, "Your son doesn't have a playground." I love that they actually like set that up.
I didn't really catch on that.
Yeah, I know. It's this little like throwaway line, and then all of a sudden they pay it off like 2 episodes later. That's pretty fun. So, did either of you have a favorite character or moment in this episode?
Probably just throwing out the coffee cup.
That is pretty funny. And like him just like weeping.
Yeah, basically. That was
really
my
funny.
favorite moment there.
Yeah, that's really good. Dave?
No, as it is, as soon as that scene sort of came up with the drapery store and the gold shovel, I honestly didn't notice it at first. It's like, oh, they're showing the drapery store. Wait a minute, is that a gold shovel? And then the truck drives up, and it's like, oh my gosh, Dr. Jacoby and Nadine are gonna meet.
Yeah, that's a great moment. For me, it's the Mitchums coming into the office with Dougie. And their little conga line celebrating.
And then he hides.
It's just great, because like, the boss is like, "Dougie, don't you think you should call your wife?" And he's like, "Wife?" That's a great little moment. Alrighty, so we're only 5 episodes from the end of the season.
Huh.
Any ideas where we're headed?
Some shit's going to happen. But as it kind of is, this was an episode of finishing a couple little simple plot threads and whatnot. So,
Well, there's still a plot to kill Dougie, apparently. Sort
somewhat
of.
of a plot.
Yeah. This was a much more, like, comedic episode in a lot of ways, though.
Little bit.
Yeah.
It's still kind of a case of some things are coming together, but it's not quite a case of everybody gets into all these particular things, all the climax of the stuff.
Do you think we're going to see Cooper at any point?
I really hope so. Because on the one hand, it's past the point of super anger with Dougie and whatnot, but still it's kind of a case of, oh look, it's Dougie. What's he gonna do? Hardly anything. Oh look, he walked into a glass door.
Bunk!
Dougie's awesome.
I could somewhat agree with that statement, but still, in comparison to getting a Cooper, it would also be tremendously nice too.
Fair enough.
How many times does he need to hit his head before he becomes Cooper again?
Or what needs to happen?
Exactly. I don't know what needs to happen.
Well,
As it sort of sits, somebody needs to get his shoes. They left his shoes there.
that would be too perfect. If that was actually what they had to do.
It's the only thing that I can bloody well think of.
It could be. It could be. Either of you have anything left to add?
Not for this episode.
Okay.
It looked like the cherry pie was decent.
The cherry pie always looks really good in the show.
Always.
Alrighty, so I think that's going to be it for this week. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
Yeah, Justin.